Hey guys, welcome. Quarter 2, we're going to multiply and divide rational expressions. So a rational expression is a quotient, that means division, of two polynomials. So we're going to do an example right here. I'm going to take 4x plus 8 and divide it by x squared minus 25. So see, I have a polynomial on the numerator and on the denominator. That makes a rational expression. And we're going to multiply that by x minus 5 divided by 5x plus 10. So I'm multiplying two rational expressions. And we have some steps. First, we have to factor. So this is what we did in quarter 1. We worked on factoring a lot. So step 1, I'm going to factor each of these. 4x plus 8, x squared minus 25, x minus 5, and 5x plus 10. So when we say factor, we just want to take out anything common. So 4x plus 8, this is not x squared, it's just x, so I'm going to see if I can divide both of these terms by something. And I can. So I can take out a 4, and I'm left with x plus 2. So factoring, when we say factor, it's just the distributive property backwards. If I were to multiply that back, I would be here. Okay, x squared equals 25. So because we have the squared, it's going to be two giant factors like this, where we have x plus or minus something and x plus or minus something. So this is what we call difference of squares. Remember, there's no middle term, so it's plus 5 minus 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. And if we were to multiply this out, we would be back here at x squared minus 25. Okay, x minus 5, this is factored. There's nothing that these both divide by. What about 5 and 10? And it's just because this is just x to the first and not doing the big factors. These are both divisible by 5. So I'm going to take out a 5, and then I'm left with x plus 2. Remember, distributive property backwards. Okay, so that takes a long time, but what that does is we're going to rewrite all of this. So instead of 4x plus 8, I have 4 times x plus 2. And instead of x squared minus 25, I have x plus 5, x minus 5, times x minus 5 stays. And then on the bottom, instead of 5x plus 10, I have 5x plus 2. Okay, step 1 takes the longest. Step 2, we start to cancel everything. So when we cancel, this is a multiplication skill that maybe you remember, maybe you don't. We can cancel diagonally and then up and down. So when I say that, see these x plus 2's? They're diagonal to each other. They cancel out, or they divide, to just be 1. And I can do the same thing with this x plus 5. Diagonal, they would cancel out to be 1. And that's it. I can't do anything up and down right now, but we'll get an example of one of those. So then you multiply across. So this was step 2. Now we're going to do step 3, where I multiply across. So I have 4 times 1. And I have x plus 5 times 5. And now, last step, we're going to simplify. So 4 times 1 is 4. And then I have to multiply this 5 by both of these. So usually we see it like this. 5x plus 25. But you don't always have to do that. I'm just going to leave it in factored form, because that's how your questions will be. And this will be our answer. Okay, so dividing, the only thing is you take the reciprocal. So I'm going to do an example of x plus 2 x squared minus 4 divided by x plus 3 x minus 2. Okay, so step 1 is multiply the first term by the reciprocal of the second. So you say it in elementary school, you could say copy dot flip. But I'm going to multiply, so change the divide to multiply. And then the second term, we take the reciprocal. So the numerator and the denominator switch places. And then we follow all the same steps. So step 1, factor. This is the one that takes forever. X plus 2 is factored. X squared minus 4 is not. X minus 2 factored. X plus 3 factored. So we just have to factor one thing. Okay, it's x squared. That means I'm going to have 2 big parentheses with x and x. And then my 2 numbers that multiply to -4, then add to 0 because there's no middle term. So -2 times +2 is my factored form. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite our problem. I have x plus 2 divided by x minus 2, x plus 2 times x minus 2 divided by x plus 3. Okay, step 2 is we cancel. So diagonally, I can cancel the x minus 2's. And then what I mean by up and down is if it's in the same fraction. So this x plus 2 and this x plus 2. Because they're in the same fraction, I couldn't do something both on the denominator here. So remember, when we cancel things out, we get 1's. And then step 3 is multiply across. So I have 1 times 1 over 1 times x plus 3. And our last step is to simplify. So 1 times 1 is 1, and then x plus 3 on the bottom. That would be our answer.